Welcome to Redvee TV, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the aborted 2020 season. We're on to part 2, Kevin.
Hello.
You look like you've been sat there a while.
Yeah, literally waiting for you.
Waiting for us.
Yeah.
We said we'd come back. Part 2, team selection. Now, questions come in from Scouse Saints. Is it time to throw Lewis Dodd into the first team to improve the kicking game and the number 7 play?
Tough one, this. I've seen Lewis Dodd once in the reserves, like live, not just on video, and he looked very good. It's a big step up to come straight into Super League, and I think we've got. It's important not to expect too much from him. We're not dropping Sean Long in there. We're dropping a kid who's not played a Super League game. No, he's no doubt a talent, but a lot of hailing him without him putting on a first team jersey.
Is it like Jose Mourinho when he was talking about that young Spurs kid who they kept calling to be put into the first team, and Mourinho said, "None of you have ever seen him play. You don't even know what colour his hairdo is."
Yeah, and that's it. You want to give him a chance without the pressure. He looks to natural.
Is it right to put him into a struggling team then?
If he improves you, yeah, it is. But I think we've just got to be careful with him, because you don't want to throw him in. Him have 3 awful games. Saints have 3 awful games, and then you don't see him again. I think it's about managing his workload coming into the first team as well. I think we'll see him sooner rather than later. And I think he seems like he's got a good kicking and a good running game. But let's not expect too much from him too soon.
Is it a little bit disrespectful to Theo Farge? Obviously, he's passed the half-back combination last season that took us to 16 points clear at the top of the table. Great combination alongside Lomax. This season we've lost a couple of games, and you've got fans sending in questions like that, as if we're losing because of Theo Farge, when that for me is not the case at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'd always like to see a bit more from Theo. I'd like to see a little bit more of a kicking game than just that almost short bomb that he puts up, which is great. I was saying it at the time against Salford. It's a great kick when you're containing and you're so far ahead that all you want to do is keep a beaten team down there. And I understand the percentage play of it when you are losing and you turn around and say, well, come out, we'll defend this line. And if you can only get out to the 30 and 40, because that's what we're confident to kind of get that. But I want to make the fullback and the wingers stink a little bit more. So if it's the same thing, but we drill it out into touch, or you put a little bomb in that's like wriggling about everywhere, I'd like to see that a little bit more.
For me, in the kicking game, Kev, the thing that's gone away is we're not putting teams in, like, trapping them in goal and getting repeat sets. And we did that against Salford, and it was pressure. And we've seemed to have gone away from that completely, of trying to get repeat sets.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's almost like that kind of chip bomb is we want to put it as close to the line as possible, then our defence will force you over. But it doesn't work if it's not on the money all the time. Whereas I know teams, and we'll probably be the same, scared of giving away 7 tackles set by going dead in goal. But you've got to take that risk sometimes of just putting it almost lateral, diagonal across, and taking that chance that the fullback may well get out with it, but he may well get trapped in goal. You've just got to take a little bit more of a risk at times.
Kev, you wrote these questions out, what people have sent in. Since Stellan's Rugby, would you throw Dodd into the starting lineup in place of Farge? Barry Forbes, do you think we'll see Lewis Dodd in the near future? No harm to feel, as a great player. You didn't tell me that all the questions were the same.
Have you not read? I thought you were a professional.
I am. We film in one take. Okay.
No,
Dean Mount Stevens. I'm hoping that's Derek Mountfield and Trevor Stevens.
It's not.
Or Trevor Stevens. With a likely condensed season, squad depth will be key, and teams will have to use reserve and academy players to bolster the first team squad. Players like Dodd will no doubt get the chance. Oh, Kevin's another one.
Read it. Carry on reading.
Oh, players like Dodd will no doubt get their chance, but who else do you think is knocking on the first team door? Okay, I'll let you know.
You're so unprofessional. Josh Sims, obviously, one that comes to mind. And from what I've seen, the size of him, Nico Rizzelli as well, who's another centre. He could well come in if we start getting problems in that back line again. Well, he's been in a couple of squads, so he's got a chance. But I think for that you're looking at Lachlan Coote probably being out and them not really fancying Jack Wellsby there. In the forwards, it'll be the time for Joe Batchelor to kind of step up in the forwards. He needs to be putting pressure on the likes of Dom Peru and the likes of Zeb Tyre for a starting spot, because I think that, I know it might be a condensed season, but if it was a full season, you'd want to be able to rotate that forward line. Apart from that, I don't know, Callum Hazard got a run out against London. Maybe he's one that they've got an eye on.
Yeah, we're just naming academy players now, because
there's your four that I'm going to go with. Okay. Your reserve players, your four.
Okay. Damian Jones, with the left centre position being a problem with Percy out, could we put Makinson in there for a few games and try Wellsby on the wing? Tommy had played there a few times before and done well, and Wellsby's best game this season was from the wing. For me, we play players in the best positions as much as you possibly can.
It comes down to the fact of we've played however many, 3 or 4 players in that left centre position. You've got to choose one and stick with it. I would personally have stuck Costello there and just kept going with Costello, because he is an out-and-out back rather than trying to shoehorn players into different positions like James Bentley. I know James Bentley gives you a lot in defence and he'll get through a hell of a lot of work, but Morgan Knowles isn't the correct choice at left centre for me. Jack Wellsby, listen, he got called out by some fans after the Cast game, but it's his first game at left centre. He's learning yet another position. Is it right to throw him in there? As I say, I'd have stuck with a proper centre, or someone who's played centre for quite a bit of his career, and in that I'd have gone with Matty Costello.
Gary Wheeler?
I'll see if he signs yet.
Well, I've got a theory on this. I've got 2 theories. Either A, he is going to sign to obviously play for the reserves, but because we've seen COVID-19 coming, we've just delayed the signing rather than have somebody to the wage bill who can't play or won't play for a number of weeks. Or Gary Wheeler's got a really good agent who's just feeding Saints into the mix with the media on the basis of trying to fish another club out for him. One of the two.
Fair enough. I'll take that as an exclusive.
Well, it's one of the two.
Yeah.
I can't be wrong with one of them two.
Well, you could.
We'll never know. Okay, Ali Talbot. Do you think you jinxed us at centre by saying in your season preview show that this was the position we were most vulnerable in if injury struck?
No. Yes.
Me or you?
You asked me which position I was most worried about if we got injuries, and I said centre.
Your fault, Kev.
Yeah, it's...
Kev, look at the camera. Apologise.
I'm sorry for saying centre would be the position that we'd have most problems with than jinxing us.
I apologise to Mark Percival, please.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. It's my fault you got injured. Not you trying to do that big hit on Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Did I jinx us? I don't know. It was
call it good punditry, Kev.
Yeah, I'm more of a professional than Dave. I read the questions before they come in.
The way your head going, you're like Steve-O to my Eddie.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Right, the squad. Saintly Turk. Have we rested on our laurels, or have other teams just improved, or a combination of both?
Combination of both. Although resting on your laurels is possibly a bit harsh, I think other teams will have improved. We said the gap was going to get smaller because we probably wouldn't have a season like we did the last one.
And with the state of the squad in, who would we have got rid of at the end of the season and replaced with better under the salary cap?
Well, that's going to come on to the next question if you'd have read them. But yeah, it's not resting on your laurels. It's a salary cap sport, and I think that maybe as fans we have rested on our laurels and just thought we were going to blow teams away. You can't have a competitive league and then whinge when you start getting beaten in some close games. So yeah, I think other teams have improved, and it's a combination of us not being able to recruit. But I'll let you ask this next question before I get onto that.
Thanks, Simon Collins 66. Are the lack of new signings in the off-season coming back to bite us now with an over-reliance on young, inexperienced players?
Do you want to say your bit now, or do you want me to answer it?
I will say it's a salary cap sport. You can't have two great players in every position, one in the team and one in reserve. Every great Saints team you've watched over the years has had a number of versatile players in it, including a couple of youngsters who can do a shift and fill in anywhere. Unfortunately, I think we ended up in a situation where we had a couple of injuries in the back line, and that really hit us at the same time. I think you can, a lot of the time, maybe cope with one, but when you're looking at two or three, it's a struggle. And I think that, for me, has been our downfall. I think it's a little bit unfair on some of the youngsters who've received, for me, criticism, because they're probably not used to playing week in, week out, whereas previously they've been dropped into the team, took out of the firing line when needed.
Yeah, same for me. That it's a salary cap sport. You've got to boost players' contracts as well. So we've had a couple who signed on long-term deals. So Jack Wellsby, Johnny Lomax, Tommy Makinson, all signed on long-term deals. You'll think there's a pot of money there for offering Morgan Knowles exactly the same. I think Alex Walmsley signed a new deal.
Regan Grace will want one at some point.
Regan Grace, Matty Lees will need a new one. They're all going to need upgraded contracts. And then, off the back of that, who do you bring in for, I don't know, on the market value, who is good enough to improve us or happy to sit on the bench or in the reserves? Because with the likes of Adam Swift and Danny Richardson, I think are going to be the main ones people look at. Does Adam Swift and Danny Richardson want another season kicking the heels on the bench and waiting for someone to get injured? No, it's not fair. And if lads want to move on, they move on. Were them lads on brilliant money, on top of the earners? No, probably not. So that's when you turn around and you think, well, who can you bring in? Because if you're going to bring someone in, it's going to be kind of that ilk that isn't going to break into the first team, isn't going to necessarily improve you. Or if they do, it's a massive surprise and a coup for the club. And then once they start playing well, they'll want an improved contract.
And that's
it's a vicious circle.
As well, with like Danny Richardson. Listen, if the powers that be at the club have decided that Danny Richardson wasn't our long-term 7, then for me, it's not fair to have him sat in the reserves for another year, kicking his heels, damaging the lad's career when he'll have got a really good offer from Cass to go there and play first-team rugby, and equally block Lewis Dodd's.
Easy for you to say.
Lewis Dodd's progression to the first team, and you've got to move players on to give youngsters that stepping stone as well.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. That's it. You put a block in the way, and that's where then your academy doesn't take on the players that you want them to, because they turn around and they see Wigan bringing lads through, they see Leeds bringing lads through, and lads will be getting a chance at Salford, lads will be getting a chance at Hull, and not getting a chance at Saints because Saints are blocking that route, as you say, by just keeping people in the reserves and playing them half a dozen times a season. It's turnover of players, and you've got to manage that, bringing your young lads through, keeping players happy, and even, you know what, if you've played I don't know, champ manager or anything like that, you'll always know that someone will be unhappy. Well, it's true. People will be unhappy in the squad because they're not getting game time.
Hey, Kev, we could do a championship manager 96-97 Fred YouTube show. I haven't played any of the recent ones, but you know what? Championship manager 96-97, there was a sweeper from the University of Chile called Christian Castaneda, who I would sign on every game, and he was boss. and you'd also get Marcelo Salas cheap up front as well.
Oh, fair enough.
And Batistuta.
That's it. I was 16, 17 at the time when that was, well, probably 16 when that was out. Yeah, I didn't play it. I was too old. I don't do computer games. Sorry.
Never too old for Championship Manager, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't do computer games really. So
we had this conversation the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, that's it. When I was a kid, I played sensible soccer. A game called Premier Manager, which was like the easiest thing ever, and now I ever go on FIFA every so often.
Premier Manager was that the one where you could bribe the referees?
I don't know, but if you dialed in a number, you got like unlimited funds, or all your players went up to 99.
So that's what certain Super League clubs have been doing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Dialing that random number. Anyway, we do digress. How long have we been on?
Has it got an international dialing code? Right, well,
probably.
Right, yeah, that's probably enough for part 2. Kev, we will have a break this evening. We'll film again during the week where we're going to look at the bests. We'll have to. I'm going to go through a couple of them. We'll have to come up with our greatest 17 you've seen play for Saints. Players from other eras who you'd want in the Saints team. 3 players you'd have from other Super League clubs. I hated 13 to play for other clubs. And favourite memories from Knowsley Road. And we'll answer this last question for this episode. Stuart St. Tucker, when's the next episode of the podcast? We've got an idea for it, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We've got a great idea, but it doesn't work when you're social distancing.
No. All venues have been shut down.
Yes, yeah, correct.
We will be back soon enough. Right. Thank you for joining us, Kevin. Stay safe.
Thank you, and you too.
Keep your distance, and hopefully everybody stays at home and we can get the rugby back on soon enough. Oh, here's the last one for you. When do you think the season will be back?
When?
Yes.
Late summer, if we're that lucky.
Late summer, and it'll be a round robin tournament.
Yeah, if we're lucky, it'll be late summer.
For me, the whole season could be gone, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Right. We'll end on that depressing note. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you during the week for part 3. See you soon. Thanks, Kev.
Thank you.